18 years ago, I was sitting here like many of you wondering what the future held. I had an average GPA, but my ACT score is where I really stood out. I got a 16, twice. Now, if you add them together, that's a 32, but it didn't work out that way. See, the feedback I was getting from the world was, you are below average in intelligence, and you better keep your expectations low. And my friends, well, they were kind enough to remind me that a monkey can score higher in the ACT. I didn't think I was going to be able to go to college, but I wasn't sure it mattered either because my senior class voted me most likely to be Mr. Mom. Not that there's anything wrong with that. My senior year, I took a creative writing class with Mr. Anderson. One of his assignments was to keep a journal, which I have here. And I want to share an entry I wrote. The topic was 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I plan to be out of college, teaching in either a high school or grade school. I think I would like to be married then, maybe even 1 or 2 kids. I will be living in a fairly nice house and be thinking about plans and how I can get money to build my gym. I basically want to be successful. Well, my 10-year plan didn't turn out to be true for me. I actually accomplished most of my goals in 5 years. After taking the ACT about 7 more times, I eventually got a 20 and was accepted to the University of Iowa. Go Hawks. 9 months after I graduated, I wasn't a teacher. I was a business owner, running my own gym. I had employees, bills to pay, and I got to make my own schedule, which I promise you is not as exciting as it sounds. But that same year, something happened that wasn't part of my plan. I started teaching exercise to a boy with autism. I had no idea what autism was, but it made a connection. This boy could not skip, and his parents and therapists and teachers had tried for years. I taught him to skip in 4 sessions. I was encouraged, confident, and I felt I was on the road to success. And by 2009, 10 years after my journal entry, my life and career were transformed. I had overworked myself, struggled to pay myself, and realized my own health was in jeopardy. My relationship with both my friends and family suffered. I walked away from the business, and my title is business owner. I was severely depressed, but believed God showed me what He wanted me to do, and that was working with those with autism. The autism community was the only reason I would wake up in the morning. I entrenched myself in the lives of those with autism, not having any idea where this would lead me. I began working at a school as a one-on-one assistant, which is arguably the most difficult position, as well as lowest paying position. I wondered if I had made the right decision. But staying on track with my 10-year plan, at that school I began dating a beautiful woman who is now my wife. This is why I didn't read it to you first. If I would have stayed in my business and held a title and let a title control my thinking of success, I could have missed out on the greatest titles of all, husband and now father. All right. After almost a year of learning how the children and adults learn best, my boss asked me, "Do you want to start our exercise program?" The truth was I was thinking of leaving the school to start another gym. I almost said no, but I took her up on that offer. Within 9 months, I got the school a grant, but more important, had 12 children working together in a group class. This may not sound like a big deal, but the average group class size for any class at that school was 4 students working together. And then my boss came to me and said, "We want you to change the way you are teaching your class." I was confused and began to explain the progress being made. Then she said, "Dave, you were probably the captain of your high school football team, right?" "Yes," I responded. She then said, "Dave, you're not the captain anymore." I knew I was on to something, and in my most difficult decision, I put a letter of resignation on her desk. In 2010, I started Exercise Connection with the mission to bring exercise to the autism community. I was making progress, but everything still wasn't rosy. I had bought a condo, and due to the housing crash, I had to file for bankruptcy. I was demoralized, but I was more worried about losing my business than my house. I persevered, which takes me to today. Exercise Connection, as you heard, we are helping people all over the world. It's truly a blessing to do this, and I remember my first presentation in Indiana, but to travel the world is unbelievable. I'm a guest lecturer at major universities teaching their students how to teach those with autism. I created the first app that 12 universities are now using, 4 within research. And I started Autism Workforce that is now helping companies employ those with autism. 3 universities are researching our model because of our unique design, including a Harvard professor. Not bad for a guy who got a 16 on his ACT. And today I humbly accept the honor of speaking here to all of you and this incredible recognition. But these accomplishments aren't what drive me. Watching a kid lift weights or be included in an exercise session does. Seeing the smiles on their faces and their parents is why I wake up in the morning. And helping an adult get a job, I can't even describe the feeling. People have told me I am changing their world. The truth is, this community is changing mine. Many of you feel pressured to know what your career should be 20 years from now. Don't pressure yourself. It will reveal itself. Opportunities don't knock, they lurk. The key is to be prepared. You will have many opportunities. Some you may stick with, and some that may not be right for you. Don't let a test score, one bad decision, or what zip code you live in define your path. When you find your passion, become an expert in the field. Learn to be flexible, absorb what others say, and always have integrity in everything you do. Gifted, smart, and brilliant are words we hope to hear because we associate them with leading toward a successful future. No one ever accused me of those things. We all have gifts inside of us that we can choose to unleash on the world, and these gifts aren't measured by any school, test, or college application. Your tenacity, personality, creativity, and getting out of your comfort zone and taking risk will help you define your future and what you are fully capable of. Thank you. One more thing. And all you Hornets here, don't forget to thank your teachers. Their job isn't easy, so thank them every day that you can. And Mr. Anderson, I'm still journaling today. Thank you.